Welcome back, fight fans. The UFC is back in Mexico, and the first ever Mexican champion, Brandon Moreno, headlines against loner Kavanagh. A short notice matchup that you did not ask for and you are getting. We're going to break down the main card, starting at the bottom, working our way to the top, starting off with Santiago Luna taking on Angel Pacheco.
Santiago Luna is a stud, former national champion in wrestling. A 100% finish rate, 21 years old. This kid is coming for heads in the UFC. He's already gotten a first-round KO over Quang Bang Lee, and now he's looking to make it 2 finishes in a row over Angel Pacheco. This time, I got Santiago doing it on the ground where he specializes. Give me a rear naked choke in the first round by Santiago Luna. Nice and easy. Angel Pacheco does not belong in the UFC. He sucks. Lost his Dana White Contender Series fight. Lost his first fight in the UFC. The only reason he is here is to push this young Mexican star, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
I don't even know if I would say he's here to push the star. I think that he's just here to be added to the resume.
Yep.
I mean, this is a classic case of we're in a region. They're putting on the regional talent, a lot of young guys, and they want to make stars with them. They want to give them the smoothest path to victory they can. Call them smoke. They will find the least path of resistance, and they will take that route. I'm right there with you. I don't think he'll sub him out. I do think he's going to end up doing some TKO ground and pound on the ground, but regardless, I don't see Angel getting out of the second round.
Nice and easy. Let's move on to our second fight of the main card. We got Imanol Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas.
You want to talk about ground game? This dude trains where DC comes from, at American Kickboxing Academy.
I love it. Rodriguez is a very aggressive fighter. His only loss came from the Tough TV show where he lost to the Tough winner. And then comes into the Dana White Contender Series, gets a vicious KO, hunting his opponent, just chasing him across the octagon, swinging wildly, and finally lands it on the button, gets him out of there. And then Kevin Borjas just is boring. I don't like Kevin Borjas anymore.
He's not that bad, but you know what? It's a tough sport, and there's got to be some dudes that take L's. He's not the worst guy to watch fight, but he came into the UFC with 1 loss. He's gotten 3 since. There's just levels to this shit.
He had a very winnable fight against Sumadarji, and I remember picking him because I was like, I
agree.
He's too good to be losing like he is.
I also picked him because I liked how he looked in his loss to Alessandro Costa and also to Josh Van too.
And it's like he's slipping off the edge. And once you if it does end up being a loss, 1-3, 1-4 in the UFC. Now what are we looking at? Because the UFC has been cutting a lot of better talent for less.
I think that if you're willing to bring the fight, they will keep you. But, I mean, if you put up nothing and you are 1-4 in the UFC in your first 5 fights, then they have no reason to keep you.
Exactly. So who do you got in this one?
I got, I think Rodriguez gets it done in spectacular fashion. Call it 3rd round TKO.
I think I'll do the same, but second round. Give me second round TKO for Rodriguez. I like his aggression. I think he will push the pace. If Borjas can take this to decision, that's probably his best chance of winning. And we move on?
Yeah.
We move on to Edgar Chairez versus Felipe Bunes.
This has to be one of the worst winning percentage, if you combine their records, that we're going to see in 2026. At least I would like to think so. If you're new to the UFC, you are not going to see too many guys facing off with this many losses. I'm just saying. 12-6, 14-8, that winning percentage is not super duper strong. Felipe Bunes, yeah.
Bunes.
Whatever.
Yeah.
His only win is over the 6-foot Jose Johnson, who has no reason being in the UFC at all. Like,
no reason being a flyweight either.
Yeah, exactly. You're 6 feet tall. You're weighing in at 125. You're a damn weight bully. Go lift some freaking weights. Put on some muscle. Eat a steak. Go out there and freaking fight at bantamweight. You're 6 feet tall. Sugar Sean is huge at bantamweight, and he's like 6'4", I heard. Like, so he's 5'11", but yeah. Well, we mentioned it. This card is put together so that the Mexican stars can shine. I'm not calling Chairez a star because I don't think he is. His 1 loss in the UFC has come to Joshua Van,
the champ,
and Tyra, right? So I mean, so 2 losses, I should say. Sorry. Those are great names to lose to. I think he gets it done by submission. All of his 4 most recent wins have been by submission.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're just going to keep the ball rolling that way, even though he's going up against a Brazilian.
Yeah, this is a good grappling match. I wouldn't even necessarily call it a UFC fight because I think Chairez has the advantage on the feet. Bunes might be more accurate, but Chairez throws more volume and more power. I think they're both trying to look to get it to the ground. Chairez doesn't necessarily have the best wrestling defense, and I think Bunes can take him there. But they're both really explosive off the back. They're both very dangerous off the back. Bunes with his arm triangle submission, or arm triangles, arm bars, and then Chairez, the same deal. Both of these guys are going to be looking for submissions if it does go that way. But when you get two grapplers, sometimes you get a stand-up match. If that is the case, Chairez easily wins it. If it turns into a grappling match, I still got Chairez. Give me Chairez by decision. I'll take decision. Decision or late submission, but I'm sticking with decision.
I got decision as well. So if you're keeping track at home, that's 3-0 for the Mexican home crowd. So some people may say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to make an entire Mexican parlay, and maybe that'll work out for me.
It very well could. Honestly, if you look at this entire card, you can go from top to bottom, exclude the chicks, go with all the Mexicans, and that's a nice payout. I don't care what it is.
Never bet on women's MMA if you value your money.
Unless you pick by decision. And we move on to Daniel Zellhuber versus Bobby King Green. How much fun.
I love this.
Yeah.
Anytime King Green fights, I'm super excited. He's one of my favorites. Just a scrapper, right? Like, I know that if a King Green fight, Bobby Green fight is happening, it's going to be fun. He doesn't win them all, but he definitely doesn't go out there to be no bitch, and he doesn't go out there to lay on nobody. He walks forward at you with his hands down, which no coach would tell you to do, which makes it even cooler. I mean, the dude has over 50 professional fights. He almost has, no, not almost. He has as many losses and draws as Zellhuber has MMA fights.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And we're talking about a 30-plus win mixed martial artist. Like, this is, it's absolutely insane. Daniel Zellhuber is a great prospect. He's super young, so he's very green, and he has a lot of room to grow. I think that the Michael Johnson fight was supposed to be a layup for him.
It was.
And I think Michael Johnson has had a great resurgence over the past year and a half. So, shout out to him for being so. The way Michael Johnson was able to beat up Daniel Zellhuber makes me really, really, really hesitant to pick Zellhuber against Bobby Green when I think that I don't see too much difference other than
maybe
fact
the
that
power. Yeah.
King Green keeps his hands down.
Zellhuber has been caught a lot in his UFC fights. Wins or losses, he keeps his hands low when he's throwing those long, rangy kicks, and he gets caught on the left side of his face with those right hooks. Zellhuber has been beaten up. He's been in some wars, especially when you go back to the Francisco Prato fight and the Ribovic fight.
The Prato fight was a fight of the night.
Arguably a fight of the year candidate back then. And so those two Argentinians.
The Esteban one was fight of the year.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. I get those two mixed up.
The one at the Sphere won the fight of the year.
That makes sense.
Which is crazy because it's the same year as the Gaethje and Holloway fight.
Undeserved. Never mind. Take it all back. But yeah, Daniel Zellhuber, like you said, young. He's very crafty, very fun to watch. He did get checked by Michael Johnson in his most recent bout. Bobby Green fights like a zombie. You mentioned it, walking forward with his hands down. A lot of times you'll hear announcers be like, he's fighting like a zombie right now. He's bloody. He's walking forward, hands down. Bobby Green just does that because that's how he fights. And that's what we love about him. This dude's been in the UFC for over a dozen years. He has all the experience on his side, but I'm going to take Daniel Zellhuber by, I'll say, third round TKO.
I got King Green getting it done by decision. Your Mexican parlay just broke, baby. Bobby Green holds it down for the OGs of the sport. I just don't think that Daniel Zellhuber has had chance to make any improvement, and you're giving him basically the same fighter. Like a dude who's hell experienced, who's a striker. I don't see it happening. So I like Daniel Zellhuber. I think his future is bright, and I think that they should continue to highlight him in these Mexican cards. But let's not put him on ice in the meantime. Let's get this kid active. His last fight was last July. And we're waiting for him to fight so he can be in Mexico. I don't like that shit. He doesn't like that shit. Put the money in this boy's bank account so that he can just focus on training, getting better, and maybe we can see something out of this kid, but I don't see him getting it done this weekend.
So we move on to our co-main event of the evening.
I love when we disagree. How about
that? I do. We move on to Marlon Cheeto Vera taking on David Martinez. David Martinez, known as the Black Spartan. Okay, who was Border Boy is Santiago Luna. That's a hilarious nickname.
Boner Boy?
Border Boy.
Border Boy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that's awesome, actually.
I thought it was David Martinez for a second. My bad. The Black Spartan and David Martinez. But let's get into this co-main event. Take it away.
What a weird-ass name. The Black Spartan. All right, David Martinez. This dude came into the Contender Series with a chip on his shoulder. He looked like the angriest dude I've ever seen in a cage, and I was kind of worried that he was going to take that anger, bring it into the octagon in the UFC, and it was going to get the best of him. But in the Rob Font fight, he was able to, one, take advantage of an opportunity because he was on the same card and was able to step in on short notice when Rob Font's opponent, Raul Rosas Jr., fell out. And it totally changed David's life forever because who knows how long it would have taken for him to get in the rankings. Now you get a top 10 dude. You beat him by decision. You beat him very clearly, in my opinion. And now you have this fight against Chito Vera, who, in my opinion, is also an easy win for this kid. I don't think that Chito has anything that David Martinez is going to be sweating about. I mean, for one, the motivation in David Martinez's corner is there. He's going to be hungry. Chito's already been fed. Chito's had his title shot, undeserved. Chito's got paid. Chito probably makes six figures a fight.
Yeah.
David Martinez is arguably still on that 12-12.
Maybe 40-40 or 20-20, something.
He's only had
like
two
that.
fights.
Oh, yeah. Then 12-12.
You know what I'm saying? So regardless of your ranking, like, it doesn't mean that your contract goes up.
That is true. You got to get those fights in. Which is why it's tough when you reach those rankings so early.
Exactly. But also people think that that's what they want. So it's a double-edged sword, man. It really is. I like to see the Sugar Sean O'Malley route where people just beat up bums on their way. Even Kevin Holland route where he doesn't care about chasing the belt, and you just know that he's going to have a fun scrap, like the fact that him and Randy Brown are going to fight.
Awesome.
Just feels like it's already happened.
Can't wait for that.
Chito wins fights when it looks like he's losing.
Yes.
So this could be another example of him taking advantage of that, especially when he's got the experience, and this young buck might be winning the fight and get a little cocky, right? So I could see that happening, but I am going to pick David Martinez to smoke Chito, actually. I think he's going to piece him apart.
I like what you mentioned. Chito, in a lot of fights, you go back to the Rob Font fight. Rob Font, piecing him up with volume. He gets caught at the end of every single round until he gets finished.
There was one at, Rob Font caught an elbow that, had his head bounce against the ground that really changed that fight. And
then the Dominic Cruz fight, it's the same thing. He's dancing around, piecing him up, and then Chito lands that head kick on the nose.
That was a vicious head kick for sure.
And that's how Chito wins. He's very dangerous until the bell rings. Even going back and watching that Sean O'Malley fight in the 5th round, he hurt Sean with a brutal body shot.
Yes, he did.
A little bit more time on the clock. Maybe he takes advantage of it, proves it wasn't a fluke to begin with.
A little more time on the clock. I don't think Sean gives him that chance, though.
That's true.
Because it was kind of one of those things where Sean was looking for the knockout. But
yeah.
Regardless, I hear what you're saying. He hurt him big time.
Marlon Vera, he has more tools to win this fight. If he wanted to grapple, he would have the advantage. If he wanted to wrestle, he would have the advantage. He just hasn't been doing that recently. He's not looking to grapple. He's looking to stand and bang, which I can respect, but you're also don't have enough volume to be successful in that realm. You can't only be looking for that one-shot KO, and that's why I'm going to take David Martinez by decision as well. I don't think you can knock out Chito Vera if he can take that knee from Sean O'Malley. I don't know what will put this dude away, and maybe David Martinez goes out there and shocks me, but give me David Martinez by unanimous decision, and Chito Vera drops to, what would it be, 4 losses in a row?
Yeah, I do think he lost a piece of himself in that O'Malley fight. 5 rounds of just getting torched, absolutely torched. That knee to the skull was in the middle of the fight, and then he kept taking punches after that. So, that was the nastiest shot I've ever heard, and nothing's changed since then. Even his Pedro Munoz fight wasn't fun.
No, but Pedro Munoz isn't fun.
Yeah, so, whatever. Chito, I appreciate what you've done in the sport, but it's crazy that David Martinez a year ago today, most people didn't even know who he was. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people still don't know who he is. And now you're talking okay, after he beats Chito,
now what?
Are we talking Corey Sandhagen? Who's in the way?
Now there's no more easy fights in the rankings.
There's really not. Yeah,
because that was it. You got, and I don't want to call them easy, but the easiest fights you could have had were Rob Font and Chito Vera.
I agree, and I mean we'll be eating our words if Chito ends up winning, but I don't see it happening. I do think that he's had the easiest route, and he's only 27 years old. I mean, you win this fight, you could headline the next Mexican card against,
maybe, yeah.
I don't fucking know, Song Yadong.
Fun.
Oh.
Song Yadong needs to main in China.
They're going to China in May.
Get him in co-main then.
Yeah,
Yeah, do something like that. Song
Bring
Yadong
back
deserves
our
it.
boy from fucking light heavyweight too.
Oh, yeah, dude. He hasn't fought since Johnny Walker.
That was like our second week doing this.
Yeah. That was a good video. We did good on that one.
Yeah, we did.
Let's move on to the main event. And the reason we are here today, we got Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno taking on Loner Kavanagh on a short notice fight after ASU Almabayev fell out.
ASU.
Go Devils. Yeah, Asu, get out of here. Break this one down for me.
So, I mean, any fight breakdown you see of this is going to be the same. Everyone's going to say, oh, this is short notice. It's too much too soon. And it is. Brandon Moreno has more title wins than Loner Kavanagh has wins in the UFC. Brandon Moreno has more title losses than Loner Kavanagh has losses in the UFC. Technically, they're tied, but two. No, he does have more losses.
He has more.
So Brandon Moreno is clearly leagues above this kid.
Yeah.
Right? Loner Kavanagh came into the Contender Series week 1 of season 9, I believe. First fight of the season, and he torched our boy out of the MMA lab. They were both undefeated at the time.
Antoine Ho.
Yep. Antoine Ho, who we saw live at the LFA.
Yes, we did.
And, you know, Antoine Ho's had a second chance at this Contender Series and wasn't able to get it done. Mm-hmm. But that was the first time he got put away, and he got put out cold. And this is flyweight. So the UFC always rewards those at flyweight who get knockouts unless your name is Charles Johnson. But if you can get a knockout, you shoot up the rankings. Steve Erceg got a title shot off a knockout real quick. Mm-hmm. This is another example. This dude has a knockout in Contender Series, wins 2 decisions, then gets knocked out, and he still finds himself across from Brandon Moreno. I mentioned it earlier. These regional cards, especially Mexico, the UFC loves to try to pump this area and pump their athletes. I think that they're doing the smoke here where they are giving Brandon Moreno the least path of resistance. Yeah. Here's somebody who only has 10 MMA fights. He's a striker. Brandon Moreno is as well-rounded as it gets. Mm-hmm. Brandon Moreno is going to get this kid to the ground and submit him within the first 2 rounds. I would love to see Kavanagh scrap it out with him, but I just think Brandon's too smart. Against Amir Albazi, he kept it on the feet the whole time when Amir possibly could have had an advantage on the ground. Mm-hmm. Didn't let that shit happen. I think that he's going to bring Kavanagh to the ground quick. This is a really short turnaround for Brandon Moreno. He just lost back in December.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We're not even 3 months later, maybe 3 months basically, and he's back in there. Short notice opponent. Easiest path to victory. Bring this dude down. Choke him out. Give me my money. Move on.
Yeah. Brandon Moreno has a ton of experience in 5-round fights. Loner Kavanagh has never been past the 3rd round. Never even he's seen 1 decision in the 3rd round, excuse me. So now, on short notice, you have to go 2 extra rounds against a former champion and somebody who has taken out the who's who of the flyweight division outside of Alexander Pantoja.
Which, so not to cut you off, but what you're setting up, if I'm hearing this and if I'm realizing this as a coach, then what do you think we're doing?
We need to knock Brandon Moreno out.
We're fucking
quick.
going for we're sprinting.
Quick.
We're sprinting, right? So
this ain't no marathon, dude.
Like, let's go, Brandon, right in the middle here. Let's put on a show for the fans.
That's exactly what he needs to do. That is really the only way I see Loner winning it. I don't think that you can take Brandon Moreno to a decision or get deep into these rounds and have the advantage. I don't see you winning the first 3 rounds clearly and then being able to coast to the next 2. So if you are Loner Kavanagh, you need to, like you said, sprint beginning to end, get that finish early, look to explode on the inside, find your angles, catch Brandon Moreno off balance, do not engage with him on the ground, get up as quickly as possible.
Even the clinch. Brandon loves to be in the clinch, and he's really good at getting there too. And that's where how I think he's going to end up getting him to the ground is getting him close, work the body, and then
those little trips.
Kind of trip. Yeah, exactly.
And he's damn good at those as well. Brandon Moreno is so well-rounded, like you said. If we had a pound-for-pound top 25, Brandon Moreno would be in it. I mean,
he arguably belongs there over some other guys that are currently hanging around the bottom half of that top 15.
For sure. Everybody loves Brandon Moreno. How could you not? He is just the most adorable little flyweight that you could possibly think of.
But also for him, like, he's reached the pinnacle of the sport, and he realizes that, like, this is still going to be the best way for him to bring home cheddar.
Oh, for sure.
Like, these are going to be the biggest paychecks you can make. It's basically a joke now that it's like, okay, if we're going to Mexico, Brandon Moreno's going to headline. You can't headline anywhere else But in Mexico, he can.
Yeah.
If he's a title holder, he has to be the co-main event. But if he's in Mexico, he can be the headliner. No problem.
Yeah.
So don't use Brandon for anything else. Even if Brandon wins, he's basically got one person that he could fight, and that's Manel Cop.
That's still a good scrap. But
It surely is, but like, poor Manel Cop. Dude, what do you got to do to get that title shot?
A lot. Well, I love the title shot between Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van.
I do too. I think I would have been more excited for Cop just because I think it would have been standing the whole time, where I think Taira is much more well-rounded, and he should smoke Van, honestly. Like, you were right. You had him as the number one
so well-rounded.
fighter under 26.
Yeah. And, I mean, especially if you can beat Brandon Moreno.
He finished him.
Right before, yeah.
He finished him. The only person to finish Brandon Moreno.
Let it be known. Tatsuro Taira is a stud, but when it comes to this prediction, I'm going to take Brandon Moreno by a late submission. Give me 4th round submission for Brandon Moreno. He drags Loner Kavanagh into deep water and drowns him.
I like that. I do think that the sprint is going to happen. I don't think that these guys plan to see a 3rd round. I don't think it's going to happen. But I would love to see it. The more time in the octagon, the better.
What was your final prediction?
Fucking Moreno early sub.
Moreno
doesn't get out of the 2nd round.
All right. Any final thoughts, closing arguments before we get out of here?
Well, we got Joshua Van versus Taira announced, so we're stoked about that. That's going to be the co-main. They've still refused to announce the main event of that fight, but we're going to pretend that Yuri Prochazka is taking on Carlos Ulberg for the 205 title.
That was the
leaked
the video thing, yeah,
of him like rock climbing.
Oh yeah, in Mexico.
Yuri's insane.
He's the best. We love Yuri so much. He's just a nutcase. And him versus Carlos Ulberg is going to be one hell of a scrap. I can't wait to break that one down eventually. Tatsuro Taira versus Van is a lot of fun. There was Joaquin Buckley got a fight announced.
Yeah, main event against Sean Brady in the Apex.
Why do we do these things?
Because Sean Brady sucks.
That's
why.
True. I forgot about that part.
They're like, we can't sell out a stadium because Sean Brady's the main event.
That's true. I mean, what Joaquin Buckley versus Usman was in front of fans, wasn't it?
Yep, it was. I don't know where, but it certainly was.
That was boring.
Yeah, it was boring. But that's Kamaru's fault.
That was Kamaru's fault. I thought that was Khalil Roundtree. I was disappointed. Oh, we got Hockett versus Curtis Razor Blades.
That's right.
Our boy making it up the rankings real quick.
Well, we were just having that conversation about, do you go through the easy opponents, get your contracts burned through so that you can have bigger numbers on there, or do you just shoot to the top? The closer you get to the belt, I mean, once you get that belt, that's the fast track to the money.
Yeah.
So you can either do a slow burn, get there the easy way, or you can roll the dice. Razor Blades is good, man. Josh Hockett's good. It's going to be a great scrap. I'm super excited for that.
Lightweight has a lot of firepower with very little spark. Something needs to change. Or sorry, not lightweight, heavyweight. Something needs to change there. What was that? Moicano versus Chris Duncan.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for Chris Duncan.
Yeah. Oh man, get your money, boy. That'll be a great scrap. Can't wait to break that one down. No idea when that is, but that was the Sportiello Show with the Sportiello Bros. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all next week with a full card breakdown of UFC 327.
Yep.
7.
Nope.
6. 326. All right, whatever.
What do we know?
Yeah, we
BMF belt, baby.
Fuck it.